Hey everyone, I'm back, and today we're going to be talking about Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring, the first one. And this movie came out in 2001, and it's directed by Peter Jackson, and I really love this movie, and I think it might be my favorite out of all of the Lord of the Rings movies. I'll have to rewatch Two Towers and Return of the King. I will be watching those movies in the next couple of days to give you my thoughts, because I really want to watch all of these movies over the next couple of days just to keep it all fresh in my brain. But going over to the movie and my thoughts on it, I really love the story, the characters, and the locations, and the writing for everything, and this big world of Middle Earth, and I really loved it. And I've seen these movies a few times, and the first time I watched these movies, I actually didn't like them all that much until I got to 3, because up until then, I just didn't really care about what was going on, and nothing was really connecting with me, and the only character that I really liked was Gandalf, and that was about it. And everything else was just kind of dull and boring to me. But once I got to the third movie, that's really what made me care, because I actually got some resolution to everything. But after rewatching these movies a few times after that point, then I started to pick up on certain things, and eventually I learned to appreciate them, and what they're like little things that are sprinkled throughout that really enhance my experience. And at this point, I really loved them. And what I really love about this movie are the performances. Elijah Wood is great as Frodo Baggins, and Samwise Gamgee, he's a great character, and I really liked Gimli. I love Aragorn. And Boromir, he's a great character, and Gollum, he's in the movie a little bit, but he's not really a character that has much dialogue, and he's only mentioned a few times, and he's in the movie for no more than 2 minutes, I think. And Legolas, I think he's a great character, and he's really fun, and as the series goes on, it's kind of a contest as to who kills the most enemies, and I find that very amusing in the sequels, but that doesn't really happen in this movie. It's a bit more straight than the other two from memory. That's not to say that this movie doesn't have comedic moments, and this movie has quite a few comic relief characters, but they never feel as though they're adding too many characters to the story. And normally, if you have more than one comic relief character, then that kind of ruins the movie, and it makes it really difficult to take anything seriously. But somehow they managed to balance everything out. No character in this movie was ever annoying to me, and the tone of the movie was always clear in terms of what it was going for, and it was going for a few different things at once. Sometimes it's really fun and playful, at other points it's like a horror movie, other points it's like an adventure, and then eventually it gets into an action movie. And the action in this movie is awesome, and it's really great. You can see everything clearly, and the fight choreography is a lot of fun to watch, and characters get stabbed. I mean, there's not really a lot of blood in this movie, but it is pretty violent, especially for a PG-13 movie, and you probably can get away with some of the things that this movie pulled off if you made this movie today. But in this movie, the amount of violence that this movie shows, it really adds to the experience, I feel. And the music in this movie is great. I love the music so much, and I can remember it right now. And there are moments where this movie does feel a bit dated for me, but those moments are pretty spread out, and the special effects in the movie, for 2001, they look good, and it wasn't so bad that it was distracting for the most part. And the only thing that was kind of distracting was like this octopus tentacle monster thing, and for me, that, in my opinion, that was the weakest out of the entire movie. But it's really hard for me to really say that was too much of an issue for me, because it's not even in the movie for like a minute. It doesn't have that much screen time, so that's why it doesn't affect the movie all that much for me. Now, one thing that I tend to forget to talk about whenever I talk about a movie with a lot of characters, and I know I did this with Pirates of the Caribbean movies, unfortunately, but in this movie, I talked a lot about the heroes, But let's talk about the antagonists of the film, Sauron and Saruman. Does this movie get to those characters right? Yes. They're intimidating, they're great, they're well written, and you immediately understand like the threat that Sauron is, and just with one scene you understand how bad of a character he is to like everyone in this movie, and he's just a really big problem. And if they fail to destroy the ring, then there's a lot that is going to happen negatively, and the movie sets up consequences very well, and that's what I really like about the movie, is that nothing feels cheesy unintentionally speaking. There are some moments where it's kind of cheesy, but I feel as though those moments are intentional. But as far as unintentionally bad, for the most part, I don't really have any problems with it. And everything is so well done, and it hits the emotions that it's trying to, and it's just a really great experience for me, and there's barely anything that I didn't like about it. So I would highly recommend that you check this movie out. And despite the 3-hour runtime, I was never bored. And it's very well paced, and I don't think anyone who were to watch these movies would feel unsatisfied, because so much is going on, and there's a lot to enjoy, and it's all developed properly. And while this movie doesn't necessarily pay off everything, because it's only part 1 of 3, there's still a lot to get out of this movie. And it's a great standalone movie, much like Kill Bill Volume 1 and 2. It's like, originally it was supposed to be one movie, and I count it as one movie, because I could never imagine watching those Kill Bill Volume 1 and just not even bothering with Part 2. Or Volume 2, sorry. And that's kind of how I view it, the Kill Bill universe. But Kill Bill Volume 1, as a standalone movie, it's really great, and it has lots of payoffs that are really satisfying, and everything that you would want in a great movie is in Kill Bill for me, and that rule applies for this movie as well. So that's why I think this movie is probably the best possible version you could have made it, with the exception of some cheesy special effects that are kind of dated, but most of it is really great. So check this movie out once you get the chance, and I'm going to give The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring, a 10 out of 10. Thank you for watching my videos as always. If you enjoyed this review, be sure to leave a like and comment down below what you thought of Fellowship of the Ring, and my social media links, they will all be in the description, so follow me there. And last but not least, subscribe to be a part of Foley Nation, and I'll see you when I get my next review up, and that is going to be for, you probably guessed it already, 2 Towers from this trilogy, so look forward to that. But until I get that up, thank you for watching, and have a great day.